Coming out first, two-year varsity, number 11, Tommy Manning.
Facing the other way. This way, Mark. Look at Mark first. All right, here we go, guys. Guys, right here. Couple of the coaches. All right, 1, 2. One more to come.
Three-year varsity, number 15, Jack Lambert. Two-year varsity, number 33, Fritz Flurry.
Hold on, we're gonna get the coach.
Three-year varsity, number 35, number 23, Captain Lee Williams.
Coaches. I don't want to like Swedish fish because that's what he said to guys. Go, guys.
Three-year varsity, number 35, Captain Cam Santos.
Guys, take a step forward.
Everybody good? Coaches.
There you go, guys. Damn, CT.
4-year varsity number 3, Casey Ball.
Oh, y'all coming in? I didn't think you were. All right, what up,
Say, maybe get the little man in there.
Let me get in.
Say to him.
Say, look.
Hey!
Where did you get him turn around? No?
You good?
Nothing to do it.
Go quick one.
Coach is on in. There you go.
You say cheese?
Good. Stay one more. Stay one more.
One more.
Yep.
One more.
Okay.
Get one more. The end of the drive.
And a very special 2-year varsity team manager, Henry Donovan.
Come on, Henry. Coaches, get a picture with Henry. Go, seniors. Go quickly.
One. You're going to be in the middle. Team manager, right in the middle.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your senior class 2026 Beyond Trojans!
Perfect. Here we go, guys. Right in big. Smile. Go smile. Go ahead, Mark. Get in there.
1, 2, 3.
This is like the end.
All right, one more. Big smile. Yeah, excellent. Thank you, gentlemen.
As you can tell, it is senior night here at Bridgewater Rainham Regional High School inside the Monty Gymnasium as the number 2 team in the state, the BR Trojans, get ready to host the Barnstable Redhawks. I am John Locke, happy to be joined by Zach Sylvia. And Zach, we were here for the football senior night back in October, but senior night, obviously, it's the same idea for a lot of these players. One of the last times they get to play here on the home parquet and a chance to come out here and celebrate with their friends and family.
Indeed, so it's always a good night, and as you said, the last time we'd seen this was football in October, which obviously a long ways away. But it's a special night for these guys. You come out, they're most likely going to get some more minutes, especially on this day, and especially coming into this game as the number 2 in Division 1. It's going to be a big day for them.
So as you heard, 6 seniors being recognized: Kason Folk, Thomas Manning, Jack Lambert, Lee Williams, Fritz Fleury, Cam Santos, and team manager Henry Donovan. Now, this is the start of a very daunting week for the BR Trojans. As I mentioned, they are the number 2 team here in the Bay State in Division 1. But you look at the team's remaining schedule here, coming up on February 12th, a game at Brockton. On the 13th, a game at Central Catholic. So a lot of these teams here coming up, they're with the Trojans in terms of playoff positions. So for the BR Trojans, you're coming towards the end of the regular season doesn't mean you can really take days off here as we go down the stretch.
No sense in the word of no days off. You definitely have to be able to finish this season strong and very thorough. And you want to go into these state playoffs hot. You can't come into them weak. You got to at least come off with 2 wins, and you got to finish strong.
So for the BR Trojans, we were talking before we came on the air here. I mean, they've been just plowing through teams here when we talk about the scoreboard. A number of their games being won by double digits. I'll get to a little more of that as the game goes on here. But facing a team like Barnstable, when you look at the ratings, they aren't very high up there. For the BR Trojans, how do they continue to keep focused on the team that's in front of them every single night?
I think you got to look back to their first matchup, BR beating them by 35 points. It was definitely a blowout. It wasn't close, but you can't recognize that as this game today. It's a much different team as where that game happened. As for BR, you got to come into this game as if both teams are 0-0.
Luke Terrell, 16 points, had 3 made 3-point field goals in that game. Kason Folk, 13.6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals. And speaking of number 3 for the BR Trojans, I noticed this as he came onto the floor. I'm not sure if this has been something that's happened through most of the season, but that right wrist of Kason Folk is taped up. And we saw that he was kind of glancing at it during the pregame warm-ups. Is that something to look at as we go through the first quarter?
I think it's definitely something to look at, and as we saw it, as you said, it wasn't something we noticed before, but it definitely, looking at him shooting warm-ups throughout, maybe besides one dunk, it doesn't look like it affected him too much, but we will see as the game goes.
For the BR Trojans, if they want to be one of the top teams in the state, they have to win games like tonight against Barnstable. We will step aside for just a moment and bring you the starting lineups for both the Red Hawks and the Trojans, and we'll have the opening tip in just a little bit here on BTV.
Please show your appreciation by demonstrating good sportsmanship and respect for all attendants. If you observe that when displaying an instrument behavior, we ask that you not come on. Officially, for all officials, players play for those who play. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's welcome in the starting 5 for the visiting Red Hawks, led by head coach Alan Taylor. Senior guard number 12, Kyle Kaufman. Senior guard number 1, Joshua Jenkins. Senior guard number 13, Jacques Lopez. Junior guard captain number 0, Adrian Pichardo. And senior forward captain number 22, Ronell Armstrong. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put it together for your starting senior 5, BR Trojans. Senior guard number 11, Tommy Manning. Senior guard number 15, Jack Lambert. Senior guard number 33, Prince Flurry. Senior forward captain number 23, Lee Williams. And senior captain number 35, Tim
Game-changing play. Pulls up, turnaround to win it. Got it!
Welcome back to the madness. We are just moments away from tip-off here between BR and Barnstable. You saw during the starting lineups, it looked a little discombobulated there in the starting lineups because kind of like what the boys soccer team does, the boys basketball team doing the same here, going with an all-senior starting lineup, including Thomas Manning, Jack Lambert, Lee Williams, Fritz Fleury, and Cam Santos. Meanwhile for Barnstable, Adrian Pichardo, Joshua Jenkins, Kyle Coffin, Josh Lopez, and Ronell Armstrong. You can hear Red Nation, they're fired up and ready to roll, including the letter A wearing a Spartan helmet.
I think they tried going Trojan helmet, but a little too big for one, I'd say.
Well, we were taking friendly wagers on whether they were going to spell it out correctly on the first try. So the first test they passed.
That's a good thing.
That'll be another reason to make it to ESPN, but they're not top 10.
And speaking of ESPN.
Yep, we'll talk about that as the game goes on here, but getting ready to jump things up here between Lee Williams and Ronell Armstrong. Would not be surprised to see Doug Alves make some substitutions early on. We saw Kason Folk at the end of the introduction line and actually took a spill thanks to Santos, but thankfully everyone survived the starting lineups.
Might have been on purpose.
And we are off and running here, and as I say that, tipped out of bounds. And Barnstable will start things off. This is the Red Hawks team coming into tonight's matchup 11-4, the BR Trojans 13-2. Looking to continue what's been a sensational season. Adrian Pichardo going to take it up, being guarded by Fleury. Lopez gets by his man, kicks it back to the near side. Three on the way, off the front iron and off the face of Fritz Fleury. It'll stay Red Hawks basketball, and looks like a fresh 35 on the shot clock.
Good tight defense at the start there. Good. Trojans find themselves in good rotation.
Again, got to be kind of interesting to see here in the first few minutes how Barnstable attacks the BR Trojans defense, because obviously this is kind of a thrown together starting five than we're accustomed to here on the senior night. Going inside is Lopez, kicks it back to the top of the key. Three on the way, will go. Joshua Jenkins cracks the scoreboard first. You heard Zach mention at the start here, last time these two teams met up, it was not close. A 35-point victory. As I say that, number 35 comes up with a turnover. Santos back the other way. Manning inside. Mid-range J will go for Lee Williams.
And another steal there.
Santos, Manning. Strong on the three as Santos tried to come up with the rebound. It'll be Barnstable basketball.
Santos, two straight steals right there, back to back. And if that's one thing for the Red Hawks to avoid, it is those turnovers. A lot of turnovers forced. And you said it, one player, 5 steals in a single game, not what you want in this one.
That just speaks to how talented this team is offensively and defensively. And yet another turnover, just about 90 seconds here into this contest. And this is turning into a little helter-skelter type of situation here.
Barnstable already with 2 turnovers, a good bucket there.
Adrian Pichardo adding 2. Makes it a 5-2 advantage for the visiting Red Hawks. As Alec Taylor tries to get his defense set. Fleury guarded by Lopez. Lambert. Williams cross-court path for Santos. As that one bounces out. Coming up with the board is Armstrong on the drive, looking for the contact. Too strong putback will go for Kyle Coffin.
Easy transition buckets there for the Redhawks. Can't give those up if you're the Trojans. Got to get back on defense.
Jason Folk at the scorer's table, going to check in at the next stoppage. As Flurry with a nice handle, but poked away very wisely by Jox Lopez. Aiden Pyers going to check in. Flurry will come out, as will Thomas Manning. And now the typical starting five that Trojans fans may be a little more accustomed to seeing is coming out to the floor. Folk, Lambert, Santos on the drive. That'll go. Joined by Lee Williams and Aiden Pyers.
Got to establish that inside the paint shooting. And once that starts to get settled, then you can start moving more outside.
Pichardo guarded by Folk at the top. Into the hands of Jenkins, picked up by Santos. Long three on the way as Pichardo fouled by by Folk.
Folk looked just a little too aggressive there on the closeout. You could see it. He kind of just stumbled his way into trying to make an attempt to make the shot a lot harder, but he runs right into his arm.
Mentioned that Barnstable coming into tonight's matchup with 4 losses. 3 of Barnstable's 4 losses have come by double-digit points, as Pichardo will hit the first. Lost by 35 to BR, as we mentioned, but a pair of losses to New Bedford by 18 and by 27.
I don't think BR was aware that it was 3 free throws.
Barnstable coming out knowing that they have to make that first punch against the Trojans. 3 for 3 at the free throw line. A 10-4 lead for Barnstable. Lambert, corner. Strong on the 3, poked back. Williams inside to Santos with a finish.
That's a great find there from Williams. A heads-up play, knowing where Santos was.
A 2-man game here by Barnstable. Poked away by Folk as Santos takes the spill.
That's 4 turnovers already for the Redhawks.
Pyers going to let it fly. Rolls out and into the hands of Coffin, who will get fouled, I believe, by Pyers. Check that out, going to be Lambert. Jack Lambert, of course, a lot of Trojans fans familiar with him on the gridiron, an all-scholastic quarterback this past football season. Also one of 6 seniors being recognized before the game, as Jenkins' jumper will fall short.
That was just a tough contested jumper right there, fading away, hand in the face.
Jason Folk through the traffic will score the basket.
Right idea by Pichardo, but what feet were not set. And the and one opportunity there for Folk.
And they call Pichardo for the foul. Case and Folk, last time these two teams met up, 13 points, 6 boards, 6 dimes, 5 steals. He gets a 3rd point on his night. Nearly a 5th turnover for Barnstable, but Jenkins there to save it, has 5 points here in the first quarter.
Lucky catch right there.
Luke Terrell checked in during those free throws. Pyers going to let things reset, as Santos was getting held up a little bit there, but nonetheless a turnover by the Trojans. Inside, banking it home for 2 is Ronell Armstrong.
Redhawks just doing a good job in transition. They forced a couple of turnovers on their own and just beating BR to the basket.
Mateo Jackson set to check in as we get another whistle in a clunky first quarter on both sides. 3:15 remaining here in the opening quarter. We are down by 5, 14-9. Folk, Pyers thought about the pass, makes the pass to Terrell. And Jackson fighting for the board, but can't get it. For Barnstable, a win tonight would really help their playoff rating status coming into this evening's matchup as the number 26 seed. A win tonight would probably put them closer to 20 and staying further away from the playing game scenario. Pichardo calling out the play inside of 10 seconds on the shot clock. Coffin inside. Armstrong, no, as the shot clock was about to expire. And there's another turnover. An ugly first quarter both ways. Coffin over everything. As both came up with it, and the contact made by Kyle Coffin.
It's just been a very sloppy first quarter to start. But that's to be expected. You know, first quarter, get the jitters out. As the game goes on, things will smooth out.
Also, just that weird set of circumstances. Obviously, it's senior night. It means a lot to have the all-senior starting five, but a lot of the players haven't seen these opening minutes here, and obviously, this is Barnstable's starters that were out on the floor, so a bit of an uphill climb here in the opening quarter, but nonetheless, 14-9, Barnstable in front inside of 2 minutes to go. Pyers hit on a three!
What a shot there from Pyers as he responds to the student section. An unbelievable shot, and once again, just not in control there. Just not a great foul.
Even hit him with the Steph Diggs celebration. As my broadcast partner did up here. Still had no idea what that means. I don't know if I want to know what that means.
Apparently it's from the movie Zombieland.
Again, another movie I haven't seen.
Why am I not surprised?
The and one will roll out. But just like that, what was a 5-point deficit, now 14-12. Nice defense by Mateo Jackson. Poked away. Stays Barnstable ball. 1:35 remaining here in the first.
Got very lucky there for Armstrong. Lucky wasn't called for a 5-second.
Red Nation getting behind the hometown team. And they're going to get Coffin for the moving screen. And Red Nation will remind him that he cannot do that. Second foul on Kyle Coffin.
Especially get 2 fouls this early into the quarter. Not a good sign. You only get 5 fouls in these type of games. Got to be careful.
Last thing Alec Taylor wants to do at this point is go deep into his bench, as Jackson's shot will be too strong. Pyers comes up with the board. Nice pass to Folk behind the backboard. Santos too strong on the three, but Jackson will be there to pull it. Baseline drive, nice pass. Case and Folk all alone for three.
That shot starting to fall for the Trojans. And once they get hot, look out.
Nearly poked away. Inside, Armstrong blocked by Santos. Santos saying, get out of here, Folk. As Red Nation almost would have blown the roof off the place. Jackson there for the putback.
Santos came out of absolutely nowhere. What a hustle play.
Pichardo trying to Euro step his way in, and they're going to get the foul on
whistle.
Mateo Jackson, it looks like. Almost just threw caution to the wind and was going to accept whatever fate, but it ends with Adrian Pichardo about to go to the free throw line. Been a while since Barnstable has been here at the regional. As Red Nation voices their displeasure According to Max Press, these two teams haven't met here at the regional since the 2019 season. Wow. A little conference realignment, and obviously 2020 things going a little wonky, but Barnstable making their way back to the friendly confines of BR 6 years later. As Pichardo goes 2 for 2, he's 5 for 5 at the free throw line tonight. Shot clock turned off, 10 seconds remaining here in the first. Down to 5. Pyers in no man's land.
Gotta go.
Has to take it. Too strong. It was an ugly start to the first quarter, but at the end of the day, the BR Trojans come out here to end the first up by 1, 17-16. And a lot of it is thanks to the play of Kason Folk for the BR Trojans' 6 first quarter points.
Especially coming off the bench, too. He was another one of those seniors who didn't get the start. A way to come off the bench, making plays on offense and defense to get the Trojans back up by 1.
Meanwhile, for the Barnstable Redhawks, I have to imagine they're feeling a little worse than they probably were in the first 4 minutes of that first quarter, as they had, I believe, a 10-4 lead at one point in that opening frame, but now they're coming back here to start the second quarter down by 1, 17-16. So I mentioned before that BR has just been blowing their opposition out of the water every single night, it appears. BR's had 10 double-digit point victories this season within their 13 victories. 3 of those 10 came against top 20 teams in various power ratings in different divisions. They had 10 double-digit wins all of last year, so that kind of speaks to the vast improvement that Doug Alves has had this season.
Yeah, it all started in the offseason. They put in the work, they put in the time, they're a committed team. It's a band of brothers down there, right? And you play with each other like it's family.
Speaking of a band of brothers, I want to talk about what's going on here in the corner baseline, as we apparently have some opposition from ESPN. And, you know, BTV and ESPN have a little bit of a history, which we'll get into in a little bit here, but, you know, they're trying to take our jobs, I think, over on the other end.
I don't think I'm too worried.
Yeah. Wasn't the answer I was obviously expecting, but nonetheless, we open up the second quarter with the Trojans up by 1. Luke Terrell, a junior guard for the Trojans, passes off to Lee Williams.
Barnstable doing a nice job on closing out.
Here's Folk playing through the contact, and he'll go to the line.
Doesn't seem like that wrist has affected him too much here today.
The foul's going to go on number 11, Power Mendez. I like that name, Power Mendez.
I think it's Mendes. Could be wrong.
Kason Folk misses the first free throw here. Folk had 10 points in the last game against Dartmouth, a 68-54 victory on February 6th. Good over there, Zach?
I'm good.
Inside to Armstrong, too strong. As Jackson comes up with a loose ball. Pyers back the other way.
It's already 7 turnovers.
Williams with a mid-range. BR out in front by 4. About a minute in here to the second quarter. And as Armstrong adds on another 2.
He's had a couple of opportunities in that low paint. Only had 2 in the first quarter.
Folk inside to Williams. Pyers back to the corner, and Williams. They've been just inside the three-point line, but nonetheless, Mendes comes up with the board. This is the final home game of the regular season for the BR Trojans. Obviously, they'll have a couple matchups here at the regional if everything works out in the playoffs. Jenkins guarded by Folk. Here's Pichardo. He has 7 points as Armstrong blows a tire. Deep, deep 3 on the way. Too strong into the hands of Pyers. Last game we talked a little bit about the floor situation, how obviously 3 games being played here, freshman, JV, and now varsity. Things can get a little slick out there for the players. Volk on the drive, dumps it off for Jackson. And late whistle comes in, but it works out for the BR Trojans, and Mendy's going to get called for the foul, his second personal.
Mendy's not agreeing with that call, not happy about it. And unfortunately, I might have to agree with him there. It looked like minimal contact on the layup.
Mateo Jackson, a sophomore forward, has been a powerhouse for the BR Trojans this season. 3 double-doubles according to the BR Twitter page. The most recent one coming against Oliver Ames in what was a great game. 16 points and 11 rebounds.
Those are very good numbers for the sophomore. Only improving on as his career goes.
Of course, that's kind of the one thing I look for when senior nights happen is who's going to step up from the underclass to kind of show that they can make a play for that starting lineup next year. And Jackson, who just went 2 for 2 at the charity stripe, going to be at top of mind for Doug Alves coming up in 2026-27. Inside to Mendes. Going back inside for Armstrong. Nice turnaround. It's going to be a miss, though, into the hands of Williams. Pyers, nice pass for Jackson. As number 13, Jacques Lopez, just went flying.
Trying to make a play on the ball. A little too aggressive there.
Pichardo inside for Mendes. Taken away by the BR Trojans. Pyers always thinking about that 3 shot.
There's bread and butter all year.
Transferred here to the BR Trojans in the offseason. Lee Williams with a 3. Alec Taylor with a timeout. Three made 3-pointers tonight for the BR Trojans here in the first half. And it just comes down to those turnovers and the points off turnovers going back to that first quarter.
Yeah, just shooting a little under 50% from the field right now from beyond the arc, and that's what you want to see. You know, it's high school basketball, and you don't see the 3-ball, too efficient, especially in this area. But to see the 3-ball go down this early, it's a good sign.
As you see Doug Alves talking to his BR Trojans team. And it was a tough start for Doug Alves when he came here to the regional, but going back to 2022, each season he's increased his win total. So 22-23, he had 4 wins. 23-24 had 12. Last season he had 16, and so far Doug Alves' Trojans has 13 wins here on the 25-26 season. This is a team that continues to believe in its head coach and vice versa.
I'd say so far so good.
Bringing BR basketball back to levels not seen since Larry Fisher in the early 2000s. Larry was actually here back around Christmas time for the Larry Fisher Holiday Tournament. 4:46 remaining. David Murphy checking into the game for the Red Hawks, number 20, along with number 10, William Johnson. Going to be Pichardo trying to take it up for the Red Hawks. Inside, throws it right into the hands of Lee Williams. 2-on-1, back the other way. Pyers cut off by Murphy. And another turnover, BR paying it back. Red Hawks have numbers for the moment on the drive. Too strong, put back, won't go by Mendes. BR in front by 9, Pyers pulls up. That'll go. 5 points for Aiden Pyers here in the first half.
Last couple possessions similar to what we saw in the first quarter.
It's a good thing I can't keep track of turnovers. That would be really confusing by now. Dicey pass into the hands of Jenkins. Guarded by Santos. Pichardo 10 on the shot clock. Inside to Murphy. Can't get it to fall. Santos comes up with it. 3.5 remaining here in a quick moving first half. Trojans were down by 6 in the first quarter, currently up by 11. $15 on the timer. Terrell in the corner. Comes up the front rim into the hands of Folk. Pyers thought about it, now facing the double team for the moment. Pulling up is Santos.
That mid-range for Santos is pure.
Lee Williams pokes it away. In the first quarter, Cam Santos had a backboard rattling block, saving 2 points for the BR Trojans. Pichardo back to Jenkins. In front of Red Nation. Jenkins on the drive, tried to flush it home, was blocked by the rim. Folk to Santos. Again, the fall away working.
Santos doing it all here in the second quarter. The block, then the score.
Had a little something to say on the way back to William Johnson. Off the turnover. Folk tried to highlight real alley-oop. Santos says, I'll just take the three.
It's 7 straight there for Santos on this BR run.
The senior Santos just stringing together a run here in the second quarter.
Unbelievable stretch of offense for Cam Santos. Shelling out and shelling out on senior night.
And typically on senior night, it's always one of those things to watch out for. How do seniors react to, kind of the emotions of senior night? The fact that these players do have other games coming up in the postseason, I think, makes things a little easier here. But Cam Santos was one of the few seniors starting here that's used to starting. But, you have Casey Folk on the bench. You wondered how things would kind of string together here in the first half. But it looks like everything's going pretty well for Doug Alves.
Yes, especially Cam Santos. It's just another day at the office.
11 points for Cam Santos here on senior night. Santos had 10 against Dartmouth in the entire game on the 6th. And to me, the thing that kind of sticks out is how he's picking his spots. The mid-range J, obviously things weren't working there right before the three, so he says, you know what, I'll just calm things down, hit the deep three, and force another timeout.
And that's what you do. You always start with those closer shots, and as soon as you work, you just work your way backwards, and then they eventually start to fall. And we've seen it from that left elbow spot.
Logan Tripp checking into the game. Thomas Manning checking back in, along with Fritz Fleury. And Jack Lambert checked back in.
Back to his all senior starting 5.
Mendes guarded by Manning. Pichardo on the drive, up and under, rattles in. Adrian Pichardo, 9 points here in the first half. Fleury back to Lambert, guarded by Coffin. Manning trying to get the ball to Fleury, and he does. After an ill-advised pass, but foul will go on Pichardo. That'll be his second.
Once again, one of those guys already in foul trouble can't have that type of play, especially early in the first half. Just means they won't get as much playing time in the second.
The third team foul on the Red Hawks. BR yet to commit a foul here in the second quarter. Manning on the drive, kicks back for Lambert just inside the three-point line, too strong. And Tripp will come up with it. Fleury has it go off his leg, and Barnstable will take over. Back the other way is Murphy. Waited for his man to fly by. Unfortunately, Lambert poking it away with 60 seconds remaining here in the first half.
It looked like that went off of Lambert's left leg.
Lambert announcing he signed on to play at the University of New England coming up in the fall. It was just lights out as the Trojan starting quarterback this season. As Fritz Fleury will get BR's first foul of the second quarter, his first personal. First miss at the free throw line for Adrian Pichardo this evening. Second one falls as BR has a 15-point lead. I was looking around and I saw that our first half cameraman, Nick Sylvia, has departed us apparently. I believe they call that the dine and dash. But nonetheless, we continue on here with Cam Santos guarded by Mendes. 50 seconds remaining here in the first half on the drive. Fighting through the physicality. Three on the way, won't go. Here comes Murphy on the drive. Tries to get by Santos, but Coffin there for the putback.
That was almost more of a pass there to Coffin.
Shot clock turned off. BR in front by 13. Santos picked up by Mendes. Tripp on the drive, pulls up. Too strong. Santos with the board, 7 seconds remaining. Manning, a deep three, too strong. Tripp comes up with it. Santos at the buzzer, blocked by Mendes. The only thing that went wrong for the BR Trojans in that first half. A 13-point lead, Zach, on senior night, and a lot of the seniors getting some playing time here as Cam Santos leading the way with 11 points.
You know, John, it started off very slow. BR didn't get into the rhythm that they wanted to, but they picked it up, especially at the end of the first quarter and going into the second quarter. Now they have all the momentum going into halftime.
Back up here on the second level, John Luck. Zach Sylvia with you, BR in front by 13. Santos leading the way with 11 points. And for the BR Trojans, as they kind of round down the regular season here, it's going to be interesting to see how they approach each game because it means a lot more based on the power rating system and trying to remain one of those top two seeds.
And yeah, especially as we come down to this latter half of the season, you're trying to play for that number one seed. You're trying to gain that home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs. So if you're able to win out and can beat Catholic Memorial, you have a very good shot to one seed.
It's senior night, and it's a 13-point advantage for the hometown team. We'll have second half action coming your way right after this on BTV.
Welcome back to the Cable 8 News. I am John Myers.
And I'm Nick Palmieri.
And Nick, nice to have you here on the set.
It is.
Or is it nice to have me on the set?
He's still got it! Oh my God! Bridgewater right
Second effort, third effort, and fourth effort. This is a community facility. BTV Cable Access is here to present and to represent all the voices in town.
Many members of this corporation who have served voluntarily and spent many hours of their personal time to work toward creating a local network with varied programs to serve the community of Bridgewater.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
It's about community, it's about coming together, it's about helping us out, because at the end of the day, that's what makes all of us strong.
the number 2 team in the state, the BR Trojans, get ready to host the Barnstable Red Hawks.
Let's go! Let's go!
6 seniors being recognized.
I've been standing on the edge of my hope, and I've been staring down all of these doubts I face alone. Trouble all the way, I came through it all, out of all my pain. Something beautiful took my breath away, like a miracle heaven sent to me. Gave me the strength.
Inside, Armstrong blocked by Santos. Everything working for the BR Trojans tonight here on senior night. Celebrating 6 seniors playing their last regular season home game for the BR Trojans, led by one of them, number 35, Cam Santos, has 11 points in the first half. John Luxack, Sylvia back here with you. And for the BR Trojans, it's just been playing consistent basketball. In the case of Cam Santos, it's been about finding his spot on the floor when he has scoring opportunities.
Indeed, that's completely right, and he's loving that shot, especially from that left elbow right on the free throw line. That's been pure for him all day long, and we saw him hit a 3-ball as well. That shot starting to fall, but he's also making things happen on the defensive end. He set 2 blocks against the rim, and if he continues to keep up this play, this game will not be close.
If you're just joining us, I mentioned it is senior night. Doug Alves opting for the all-senior starting lineup. Thomas Manning, Jack Lambert, Lee Williams, Fritz Fleury, Cam Santos getting the starting nod, Case and Folk coming off the bench, and another senior here for the BR Trojans. As again, this upcoming week, a week that will certainly show where they're going to be in the power ratings. The game at Brockton, the game at Central Catholic, I do believe that's coming up on the 13th, and the season ending on the 16th and 18th in Alborough for the Bombardier Classic.
And especially if BR can win their next game, they win the game today and win against Brockton, hoping for a loss between some of these games for Central Catholic, that game could possibly decide the number 1 seed.
Yeah, jump ball to open things up here in the second half. Will be BR basketball. Jason Folk, I mentioned, coming off the bench, has 7 points. Adrian Pichardo leading the way for Barnstable with 10 of their 23 points. Luke Terrell, Aiden Pyers, Lee Williams, Cason Folk, and Cam Santos on the floor for the BR Trojans. Pyers lets a deep 3 go. We said he wasn't afraid to take those shots.
It's an absolutely pure shot right there as he gets the steal.
Pyers going deep for Folk. Folk decides to just take it and bank it home.
Good shot from Folk, and I don't know if you noticed this, but in the second quarter, no longer wearing that tape on his wrists.
Good catch. Jason Folk's right wrist, right thumb is taped up. As you heard Zach say, going sans tape to open up the second half. Howard Mendes comes up with with the ball, taking it inside, count it, and 1.
And if you're Barnstable right now, that's the type of game you want to play, but it all starts on the defensive end. You can get a couple of stops put together, get some plays on the inside. This game is going to be very close.
And we've seen that BR is capable of turning the ball over a lot, as we saw in that first half. As Mendes will hit the point after. Again, this is a rematch. Two teams played earlier this year, a 35-point win for Barnstable. For BR. Terrell inside to Folk. As that poked away. And if Barnstable can string together a couple stops and scores, they're in forced dugouts to maybe play things a little tighter. have to imagine that will make Alex Taylor feel pretty well here in the third quarter. Inside, Mendes, nice Euro step, too strong though. Lopez will pull it back out. Six on the timer. Jenkins pulls up off the front iron into the hands of Pyers.
It's a good looking shot there, but once again, just taking another contested jumper. Those have not been in the Red Hawks' favor.
Barnstable playing a lot of man defense here in this one. As Pyers leans in, too strong into the hands of Mendes, and we get a stoppage here with 5:39 remaining in the third. Foul will go on Pyers. Should be his first personal. A second team foul for the BR Trojans. Barnstable yet to get whistled here in the second half. Pichardo dumps it off for Lopez, and it goes out of bounds. BR basketball, 5:34 remaining.
And those are the type of plays you just cannot have. You have a 2-on-1 situation, you're perfectly set up for some points, and you just cannot catch the ball.
Barnstable did have a pretty good lead in the first quarter, 10-4, as that uncharacteristic starting lineup came into play. And Kason Folk fouled on the three by Kyle Coffin. That'll be his third foul, and to add some salt to the wound, being reminded that he cannot do that. As Kason Folk's at the line, pretty interesting to note that this is the 1-year anniversary of number 3 making it to the top of SportsCenter's top 10. As the first one falls, a putback in the paint, and that was actually at that basket that he got carried off the floor in victory. It was in over Catholic Memorial.
Unbelievable shot.
It was one of the 2 times that BTV made ESPN's broadcast. The other time, Finn Kelly with a ridiculous catch, making Ugot Moss number 2. Folk goes 3 for 3 at the free throw line. 18-point advantage for the BR Trojans, number 2 team here in the state. Pichardo looking for some screen help, dumps it off for Mendes, and gets tripped. Toledo gets Santos with the foul. That is the case, his first personal.
Mendes was just out of control there. We got tripped up from behind.
You hear Doug Alves in the background saying, watch out for Pichardo. Inside to Mendes, guarded by Williams. 5 minutes straight up remaining in the third. On the drive, Pichardo cut off. In the corner, takes the 3, makes the 3.
Just a good little move there. All it took was a little jab step off to his right. Just gave him enough space to get the shot off.
13 points for Adrian Pichardo. Luke Terrell trying to get his first basket of the night. Bounces off a Barnstable leg. It'll stay BR basketball. As Red Nation continuing to voice their support for the hometown team. Santos can't get it to go. Pyers tried to come up with the board, but ripped away by Jenkins.
Shot didn't go in because it was on the right side.
Get a jump ball. Stays Red Hawks basketball. Well, we talk about BR being the number 2 team in the state. A win for Barnstable tonight would most likely make them safe out of the play-in situation, but plays like that will certainly not help the cause.
That one went directly to the bench of Barnstable.
Or as Chris Collinsworth would say, well, I don't know what I can say about that. Folk for Pyers in the far corner. Folk takes the 3, makes the 3. His second made three-pointer of the night. Trying to get two back the other way, no.
Volk already up with 6 points just in this quarter.
Pyers, another deep three. Off the front iron, it goes into the hands of Lopez. Pichardo for Jenkins, short. Lee Williams going inside, poked away, and this has been an ugly night basketball play-wise, despite the BR Trojans being in front by 18 points. As what you just saw with the past 25, 30 seconds, the microcosm of what we saw in the first 4 or 5 minutes of that first quarter.
So yeah, especially a lot of back and forth, a lot of transition, just ending up either bad passes or just going out of bounds.
Pyers going ISO with William Johnson. Terrell at the top, goes inside, falls short. Coming back the other way is Pichardo. Pyers giving chase. Pichardo with a nice finish. Santos trying to play through the contact. Got a piece of Coffin's chin. Dangers of playing in the paint. Poked around. After all that, it'll be BR ball. There's frustration starting to set in for the Red Hawks.
And it is tough. I mean, you come into this game, you know, it's senior night, you want to spoil that, but it's just been the lack of control here from the Red Hawks. All these turnovers not helping their case. Basket by Santos once again.
Just doing a quick count here. Barnstable, 10 seniors, if I'm counting right, on the roster. Poked away. Pyers comes up with it. Trojans numbers for the second. As Mateo Jackson gets the capper on the possession. And a timeout called by Alec Taylor, and he knows that he can't take the timeouts with him. His team currently down by 22 points. Well, we have a chance. I want to let you know, coming up on Thursday, February 19th, DTV has a special presentation being shown on Nesson Plus as we highlight the NEC playoff chase in women's basketball. Stonehill hosting the New Haven Chargers. The game also available online, NEC Front Row, but the second time BTV will be featured on Nesson Plus for a Stonehill broadcast, and certainly want to shout out Stonehill for helping us out all season long, both for football and basketball, having their students help us out and create quite a professional atmosphere and help out with the productions as well. Some of the best support we've had from the college over the past few years. Here at the university, or excuse me, here at the high school, we are in front 53-31. Gonna be interesting to see how long Doug Alves leans on some of these star players like a Santos, a Jackson, a Pyers, with his team currently in front by 20 plus and 9:54 remaining in the game.
Yeah, especially with Santos having already up to 15 points just in this quarter. Been unbelievable all day. You wonder if this will be his last quarter.
15 points for Cam Santos. As the Trojans playing a little too hard on defense. Pass went inside for Ronell Armstrong. Has one made field goal in each of the first 3 quarters. Going inside for Santos, playing through the contact. Can't get it to fall, though. Somehow comes up with a loose ball. And almost came up with a 3. Lambert trying to come up with the board. Back the other way. Lopez blocked by Santos. But put back in by William Johnson.
That's Santos' third chase down block. But cleanup crew for the Redhawks right there.
If I saw right, when Lopez came into the three-point line, he kept looking around. Santos swatting Lopez's arm around. Folk almost ending up again on the highlight reel. Jackson dumping it in for two.
He was going for that one. He had bad intentions.
About a 1.5 differential between the shot and game clock here in the third quarter. Coffin in the corner. .12 seconds remaining in the third. Pichardo inside for Armstrong. Can't get the reverse to fall. 5 seconds remaining. Volk rifles it down. Santos with a finish. .17 points for Cam Santos and a capper on the third.
This has been an unbelievable day for Cam Santos, doing everything, every little thing right for the Trojans.
We are recording this game here on Thursday, February 10th, and it's a special day we found out here for BTV, as it's our four-camera operator Al Lacerda's birthday. If he watched this back, I'm sure he'd be very angry if we pointed that out on air, but he is the guy getting the shot of the band right now.
He's one of those guys who don't like celebrating their birthdays.
No, I kind of got that. That's why I'm doing it right now, because it's also a good test to see if he's going to watch the whole game back. So we won't tell him about what we're doing here at the end of the third. But
Al, if you're seeing this, or if you're listening to this, if you actually watch this back, happy birthday from me, John, and everybody else at BTV.
I'm sure he'll have warm thoughts for the next 3 weeks.
Sorry, I saw that Mary Louise.
Alec Taylor, perhaps with the last gasp for the Redhawks here tonight. His team down by 22. Again, the last time these two teams met up, a 35-point loss for Barnstable, and the Trojans actually on a 6-game winning streak, winning by an average of 25 points a game when these two teams meet up.
And we wondered, going into this quarter, would we even see some of these starters? We see Falk and Santos back in there.
More importantly, as I look at Red Nation, we have a replacement letter A coming into the collection here to fill out the rest of Trojans. These are things to look at here when the hometown team's up by 22. The number 2 team in the state. The BR Trojans looking to put the final touches on this one. Off the turnover, coming back the other way, William Johnson. Couldn't get the nice finish there. As Williams tries to step on the gas pedal, poked away.
He had Lambo inside.
Cam Santos 17, Kaysen Folk 15 points. Again, you have to wonder how long these two will be on the floor for the BR Trojans. Lambert trying to take off, blocked by Armstrong.
Oh my
yes, he had a little something to say.
Took all his frustrations out on that block. A little power behind that one.
Armstrong called for the foul. All I saw was Kaysen Folk and Jack Lambert about to fly into the fans right there. As Jack Lambert gets his first point of the night. Lambert got the start along with Thomas Manning, Lee Williams, Fritz Fleury, and Cam Santos. And judging by your reaction going back to that block by Power Mendes, you weren't a fan of that call.
No, absolutely not. It looked like he had all ball. The refs must have saw something different as Falk gets a steal there.
Terrell waits for his man to fly by. First points of the night for Luke Terrell. Come back the other way. Foul will go on Terrell, and it'll send Pichardo at the line. Pichardo, the lone Red Hawk, in double figures tonight. That's 15 points. As Alec Taylor will talk to the official about what? I don't know, with his team currently down by 26. Pichardo 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Pass cut off. Lopez dumps it off inside for William Johnson.
Great play there from Johnson, able to intercept the pass, got 1 foot in, make it, and then gets credit for that and with the basket.
61-38 coming up on 6:10 remaining here in the fourth. Thomas Manning checked back into the game. Poked away, stays VR ball. Oh, nice two-man game as Folk gets that finish he wanted right in front of fake ESPN.
Showing up for fake ESPN, celebrating.
Pichardo can't get the answer. Folk wanted that dunk all night. Williams will go to the line. And we talked before the game about this too, comparing this to the football team and the wide receiver situation. It's hard to plan for this BR Trojans basketball team because you don't know who's going to take off every night. It could be a Case and Folk. It could be an Aiden Pyers even, a Cam Santos. It's hard to plan for this team defensively.
100%. It's just because the athleticism on this team is unbelievable. You got these guys who play multiple sports, and it's like most athletes do in high school. They mostly play multiple sports, but especially with a team as good as BR, it's so hard to plan for.
Williams 1 for 2. There's a couple of members of the football team here on the basketball squad. Jack Lambert, who nearly came up with the steal, and Logan Tripp. Trojans' next game coming up in 3 days against the Brockton Boxers, a rematch of a game that took place here a couple weeks ago. That BR won 70-58. And it was this type of game in the JV game as well, with BR winning by, I believe, close to 30.
I believe that game was around 60-18 or something like that.
Into the corner for Murphy, short on the three, poked away. It will stay Barnstable ball. 5:02 remaining here in the fourth. There's the 13-2 Trojans, about to be 14-2 after this game. We talk about the two-sport athletes here. BR 2 losses this season to Mansfield and Bishop Feehan. The football team had 3 losses this past season to Mansfield, Bishop Feehan, and Barnstable. The losses to Mansfield for the basketball and football team by the same margin, 2. Basketball team lost to Feehan by 3. The football team lost by 4. And the third loss for the football team was to Barnstable by 10. I don't think that will be the case here tonight, as the 3 misses the mark. How about that? 2 losses by a combined 5 points. Inside to Williams, picks up the deuce.
It's a good little baby hook there.
Dicey pass inside. May have stepped on the baseline, but play on here inside the 4.5. Pichardo into the hands of Lambert. Red Nation showing out as they always do.
And then some.
Inside to Williams, back to Folk. Breaking free to the corner, inside to Santos. Into the hands of Mendes. Fritz Fleury about to check in for the Trojans. Inside, and Jacques Lopez will go to the line looking for his first points of the night. Foul on Kaysen Folk. That will be, I believe, his second, nope, his first foul. Cam Santos checking out tonight. Quite the night for number 35, 17 points. Gotta check my math quickly.
The leading scorer for the Trojans.
Kamari Hume checking in for the Red Hawks as Fritz Fleury gets tripped up by Power Mendes.
Comes up hobbling just a little bit.
Taylor Jackson set to come in for the BR Trojans, and Lee Williams will come out. 3:29 remaining here in the fourth. Fleury pulls up. Can't get it to fall. Jackson with a board. Fritz Fleury got the start tonight. One of 6 seniors being recognized before the game. Fleury on the drive. Dumps it off for Folk on the baseline. Almost hit it home for 2, but he'll just tip it in.
It's just hard to stop. Such athleticism. Folk is so explosive.
Tied Santos for the night, 17 points for number 3. Along the baseline, ill-advised pass into the hands of Pichardo, dumps it off inside for Mendes, fouled by Jackson, gets the finish and 1. Jackson's second foul. Kaysen Folk will check out for the second straight game. It looks like Cam Santos and Kaysen Folk will finish with the same point totals. Last game against Dartmouth, 10 points each. Tonight, 17 points each. Five points for Mendes here in the fourth quarter. Fleury up, under. That would have made the crowd go wild. That might, fighting for the ball and jump ball. It'll go to Barnstable, but Fleury playing to the final whistle. Pichardo fighting through contact. Foul's going to be on the floor. So while we have a second, you'll have to explain this whole ESPN thing to me, because while I was doing the research for this game, I saw at least 4 or 5 different schools do the same exact thing with the ESPN table. Is this just...
It's more of a, it's like more of like a hype situation, like more of just like the student section and their way of being creative, especially as the years have gone on. The student sections are getting way more creative, with all these limitations that they have to do now. Doing this, it's, it's funny. It's just a good gag to do.
I wasn't sure. This was the first time I saw this actually in person.
This is the first time I'm seeing this also in person.
That's probably a good thing that this is the first time we're seeing this in person. If we just randomly showed up to high school basketball games everywhere, that might show that we really have no time or too much time on our hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flurry for Tripp. Took around in the hands of Pichardo, back the other way. Welcome to the block party, Logan Tripp, and he got called for the foul. And Hume has something to say about it.
I'm sorry, I can't believe that one. There's no chance. I'm sorry. I know we're not supposed to be biased here, but an unbelievable play, and they call a foul. We see that way too often at any level of sports.
Hagen Diaz will come into the game now for Power Mendes. And Charlie Campbell will get his first couple minutes of action here tonight in Bridgewater. 0 for 2 for Hume. Flurry rolls off the rim into the hands of Tripp.
As someone saying in that situation, ball does not lie.
Manning is looking for his first basket of the night. Back the other way. Over everything in the hands of Lambert as we play out the final 90 seconds here on senior night. Theo Jackson adds on another couple points, and Flurry will get called for the foul. Third time we've seen that on either end of the night, or either end of the floor tonight.
That time I agree.
Okay.
I agree on that one.
Where are we, 1 for 3 now on those calls?
1 for 3, yeah.
Okay.
It's the first one to go.
Here on senior night, 48 of 70 of BR's points scored by the 6 seniors. As I mentioned, led by Cam Santos and Kason Folk, 17 points each. Inside the final 60. Flurry loses the handle. And we're finishing the night how we started. Jackson looking to put the finish on the night. And the foul given by William Johnson.
Look at Al.
Look at Al. Look out that laptop. That thing is in rough shape.
I know. You can even call it a laptop at that point.
Josiah Montero getting the loudest ovation of the night. He's about to check in with Jackson at the line.
These are the things you love about high school sports. It's these little things.
Montero checks in, as does number 12 for the BR Trojans, Yesiah Gendra. Gendra, a sophomore guard. One of 2 sophomores on the team, the other one, Mateo Jackson.
You know, for a fake ESPN crew, I don't even think they've made a single call for this game.
I'm getting McAfee vibes over there, I think.
Not even. At least they call the game.
At least they show up to work after the Super Bowl. Going inside and fighting through the contact is Matthew Desir.
We don't talk about the Super Bowl. That didn't happen.
some point we'll talk about it on the sidelines.
Nope.
Again, the win total increasing year by year for Doug Alves. 3 seasons ago. The team had 4 wins. 2 seasons ago, 12. Last year, 16. And in 30 seconds, the BR Trojans will have their 14th win of the season with another 4 games to go.
I believe now. Nope, never mind. They say they were in the bonus, but that's not the case. Or are they?
At this point, I think anything goes inside the final 22 seconds of a 22-point game. As the Spirit fingers are out. Second one goes out of bounds, and I don't think I've seen that. Fleury giving such an effort, just bouncing it right off of Logan Tripp.
I think he thought Adrian Estevez was there.
And he got distance. It went right by the exit door, too, in the far corner in the hallway.
Even this ball's trying to leave.
Should be worth pointing out here, members of the Rainham Youth Basketball Program joining us here tonight, right behind the BR bench. Getting treated to quite the show as Montero with the stuff.
It's the future of BR basketball.
Gendra, nice pass to Fleury, but obviously the Trojans not going to add salt to the wound here. They will end the night winning by 23 points and earning a 14th victory as this team continues to march on valiantly. The number 2 team in the state getting a huge victory here tonight.
And it all started with 2 names, Cam Santos and Carson Falk. Those 2 absolutely showing up and showing out on both sides of the ball. An unbelievable day.
As I mentioned, the 72 points here scored tonight for the BR Trojans, 48 of them scored by the 6 seniors that we saw here on the floor tonight. I remember a couple games ago when we had them on BTV against Brockton, I said that this team is all in for the championship this season. And if they play like they did tonight, it was a little clunky at junctures here, but if they play like they did tonight, it's going to be hard to stop them in March.
It will definitely be hard to stop them, but those turnovers, that early first quarter that you had, you can't have that, especially going in the playoffs. And they say perfection is almost impossible to accomplish. You need to be close to perfect when it comes to the state playoffs. Mistakes like they made out there tonight against these better teams, that will not work.
Again, 4 games to go, but that's it for the home regular season schedule. The BR Trojans coming out with a victory 72-49. I want to thank Jeff Fowler here on the track on camera. Also, Al Lacerda on the floor. For Zach Sylvia, I'm John Luck. Thanks for watching.